everyone. Today we have with us Abhiroop Banerjee. Abhiroop is an HR consultant solving people issues for small and medium enterprises. He's a keynote speaker, a startup founder, and a coach. Abhiroop Banerjee has nearly 20 years of rich overseas and indigenous experience in devising and effectuating global HR policies, systems, and practices. Founder of Grip Consultants, he is an entrepreneur and a people evangelist. His domain expertise lies in manpower planning, integrated talent management with honed skills in recruitment, along with corporate HR related functions like interviews, onboarding, induction, global inclusivity, advancement planning, disciplinary issues, communication calendars, full and final settlements, etc. Uh, I have attended several of Abhiroop's training programs, and I have to say that his programs on skill development are immaculate. Welcome, Abhiroop. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you, Anupriya. Such a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Okay, Abhiroop. So the intention here at Wonder Skills Fireside Chats is that we try and create a bridge between the employers, the industry, and the job seekers, so that we know that what to understand employability, so that job seekers can work on their employability or different aspects of employability. So in that respect, my first question to you is that how are the recruitment trends currently for freshers and early career professionals in the corporate?
So I think the market has really opened up. See, there is always job for a fresher. I mean, this is a myth that fresher doesn't have a job. The challenge where it comes in is that whether the fresher wants to do the kind of job that is available in the market or not. So the gap is not with the gap is not that there is job or not job. It is about whether I, as a fresher, fresh pass out, whether I'm a graduate or a BTech or an MBA, am I ready to take up the job that is in the offering?
Oh, yes.
And that is where the gap is. And for early professionals also, I mean, early professionals, see, I'll tell you, till mid-management, there are jobs. Yeah, senior management gets a bit difficult, but till mid-management, till you are 5 years, 6 years, 7 years of experience, there are ample job opportunities in the market in across industries, across skill sets.
Okay.
But the challenge is the gap between the expectation of the employer and the expectation of the employee. That's where the gap happens, and that's why there is always a gap where industry always says we don't get people, and the employees always say there is no jobs. And that's
so if there is so much of a gap in understanding, what do you suggest that what should the job seekers do to understand what is it that the market actually needs?
See, the first thing I would like to, what I have seen in my personal space is that, mostly for freshers, even for early job seekers, they're pretty confused what they want and what kind of work they want to do, whether they will at all want to do work or not. See, for any organization,
yes.
Yeah, for any organization, what they look? They look for hunger. They look for attitude. And a little bit of skill. Even if you don't have it, it's fine. Because it's acceptable that if you're a fresher, we don't expect skills from a fresher. We only expect a great attitude, a good learning ability, and hunger for success. Now, most freshers add another element is money. Which is not always available in all kind of work.
Which is true.
For a fresher, instead of money, if they add an experience, like, okay, fine, whatever they are offering, let me work and let me at least gather experience. In 2 years, 3 years time, I can anyway jump and I can build my career. But this mindset is not, I should not be generalizing as such, but I have failed to see much in this current generation of freshers that is there. I mean, people are sitting at home due to COVID. They are not working. When you offer them work, they will ask 10 questions. Rather than an employer asking questions, they will ask 10 questions. Is this there? This is there. That is available. Is this facility there? Is that? Come on, you're sitting 1.5 years. You don't have a job.
It's a sad thing. It's a sad thing.
And then they will go and write in LinkedIn that, I am pandemic, as I lost my job in pandemic and this and that, and they will cry and do all sorts of things and create sympathy. I mean, with all my heart goes out to all the people who write these kind of messages. But my dear friends, whoever writes this kind of messages, I don't think you're hitting the right dose, or what you're looking for. Maybe you need to tone down your expectations.
Which is
But there
right,
are jobs.
Abhirut. I agree with you that there is also an attitudinal problem. But in some cases, I see that, I also see those messages on LinkedIn. And when I go through their resumes, I don't blame if they haven't got a job. I seriously don't blame them because these resumes don't reflect anything about them actually. And I am saying this because I know you are also a personal branding enthusiast and you are an expert in that area too. So what do you think these youngsters can do to make their personal brand stand out so that they get noticed?
See, this is an era of digital arena, and it's no more the time is that you keep on updating your resumes in Naukri and you sit at home and expect people to call you for jobs. I mean, yeah, if you are so specialist, so technically skilled, yes. But if I'm not that technically skilled, if I am not a specialist, I have to look for a job. Job will not come to me. So you upgrade. 78% of people doesn't even know how to use LinkedIn.
Yes, I agree. I recently did a session on LinkedIn and I figured a statistic which said that of the total corporate employee population, only 33% people are on LinkedIn. And of course, we know the percentage
out of the
people
33, 78% doesn't know how to use it.
Absolutely, they don't know how to use it. Yes.
So you just think that uploading a resume in a job site, whatever brand it is, that will give you a job. I mean, which decade you are in now? In today's after pandemic has gotten, how many people has a video resume? None.
I was about to come to that because I know that you've been working on video resumes with your clients.
Yes, I'm telling this people that, boss, it is just you have everything to do. Go to TikTok and do all those whatever you want to do, and you want to use Facebook. How long does it take to put a camera and talk about yourself for 2 minutes and sell yourself?
So what is your view on these TikTok resumes? So TikTok has come up with this new feature. What's your take on that?
Okay, I didn't check that, but yeah, see, because you don't know where recruiters are.
We don't know, yes.
You don't know where recruiters are. Recruiters are everywhere.
Right.
In Facebook, in Twitter, recruiters are not getting people. Trust me, they're having a hard time.
It's a sad state. It's a sad state of affairs. The seekers are not getting jobs. The recruiters are not getting people. So again, taking forward this thing about personal branding and using LinkedIn or a profile, creating an appropriate profile, what do you suggest? What comes to the checklist, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4 points, 5 points that people should do about their resumes or their LinkedIn profile? What's your suggestion?
See, for resume, I definitely suggest take professional help, and people do take resumes. If you are good, it's okay. I mean, but most of the people who are not getting jobs, they don't know how to write a resume. See, because they think resume is biodata, curriculum, but it
Thank
is
you for saying that, Abhirup. That saves my bread and butter. That ensures me some bread
I'll tell you why. See, people think nobody reads the resume. Right. But that's your gateway to the interview. Everybody reads resume. See, sometimes I as a recruiter might not, if I'm really saying, let's say for my organization, I'm looking to hire someone. I might not go into detail about a resume, or I might still call the person for an interview just because I want to experiment. But companies doesn't want to experiment. People like me are very rare in the market who would like to experiment with people. So if you don't say what you do, I mean, I've got resumes. With that resume, you have no clue what this person wants to do in life. People doesn't know that you
I'm
can make 2-3
laughing. I am
resumes.
laughing, but it makes me sad. I'm laughing because it's an irony. It makes me sad.
It's an irony. People don't know that you can make 2-3 different versions of your resume. If you have jumped jobs, there is way you can portray that in your resume.
Right.
If you are not that much of skilled as far as your work is concerned, still you can do something that is there in your resume. At least basic, get a professional photograph. Get a decent email ID.
Let's not get into email IDs.
I mean, what do I tell you? I mean, so that's why I say, see, and see, I don't expect people to know this. I'm not saying that they're at fault, but why don't you seek help? What is the challenge? See, I don't know how much you or people like you charge for resumes, but how much can it be? One dinner, one pizza, one outing. How much can it cost, and how does it? And that's like an asset, right?
That's
See,
an
I'll tell
asset,
you,
and it's going to get you a job. It's important.
I'll tell you one of my experience. So I did earlier in my long earlier career when I used to do recruitment and when I was in a consultancy. So we had to work on resumes, right? Because we used to send people outside. Okay. So I made a couple of resumes for a couple of candidates. Okay. Then they became friends. After 15 years, this guy still calls me and said, Abhirup, the resume you made that time, I'm using still that. I'm just updating that and I'm still getting jobs.
Wow, wow, that's wonderful. It goes
So
on
how
to
much you are
yes,
spending for an asset which you will use your entire life?
absolutely.
I got my resume done from a professional help. I got it done like almost what 8 years, 10, no, 8 years. So my entrepreneurship, like 15, 20 years back. I
Okay.
used that my entire career.
Oh, so you used a professional resume writer 15 years ago. You had that
Yes.
maturity to understand that a
Yes, I
professional
paid,
can
and
help
it was
you.
not cheap, by the way. Huh? It was not cheap. Huh? It was expensive.
Of course, I'm sure at your
It was pretty
level, for
expensive.
your profile, it must have been. It
Yeah,
must have been.
yeah.
Yes.
And that resume I've used for my entire career.
My God, my God.
Even people like me who made other people's resume, but for me, I got a professional help because I know when I will start writing my resume, I will go all over the place.
Yes, that's because you don't have the out of the frame perspective. You tend
And
to
the
get
clarity.
stuck. Yes, the clarity does,
Yes.
right. And it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense, Abhirup, when you say
And
get
same thing,
professional
you
help.
reflect the same thing in your virtual, in your social media, the way you have built your resume. So once you get that resume done, you build your social media, build your LinkedIn profile, build your Facebook profile, build your Twitter profile, wherever you want to find a job. If you're a creative guy, if you're into creative arts, get your Insta profile well done so that people can see you. Get some videos on, share your opinions, write articles, give posts so that you get visible. Job doesn't come walking to your door, right? It doesn't happen nowadays.
It doesn't happen anymore. It didn't happen earlier also. Our parents used to say, "Naukri
No,
dhoondne mein
earlier
chappal kis jati
maybe
hai?"
maybe opportunities were more or whatever. But for I don't know. I mean, either you have a daddy, mummy in that company. I mean, daddy, mummy not in real sense, but you somebody know that who will pass
Somebody.
you on without even taking an interview, or you really need to work hard. I mean, that time social media was not that strong. Now social media has become so strong.
So
All
how do you
recruiters use
suggest? That
LinkedIn.
takes me to the next question, Abhirup, because you are very active on LinkedIn and you use LinkedIn to, you always suggest people that use LinkedIn to the best of its capacity. So how do you suggest one can use social media uh, to, find out appropriate opportunities and create, rather more than find out appropriate opportunities, you have to create an appropriate profile first. Let's do the
Yes,
homework first, right? Before
yes,
expecting.
yes,
So how do we do that?
yes. Yeah, create a good profile. If you don't know, take professional help. See, I am all for professional help. Yeah. So if you don't know, take professional help, or you get a course done in whatever Coursera, or you see other profiles, copy them, do whatever. Get a proper profile done. Get your proper resume in LinkedIn. Half of the people's LinkedIn are empty. They don't even have written what they do in their job role.
I agree.
After that, you decide where you want to get the job, what industry, who is your target customer, whom do you want to approach to. Start connecting with them. Now, a lot of people have come and told me that, I to connect, but they don't connect me back. They will obviously not connect you back in the first time, right? You are no celebrity that they will connect you back, right? So you have to get visible to them, like their post, comment in their post, go and visit their profile 10 times so that it comes in their viewed profile that this guy has visited my profile 2-3 times. When you send a connection request, there is a way to send a connection request. You need to know how to send a connection request. You just can't send the, press the connect button and send a request. Nobody will respond. Why somebody else, an HR guy will respond to he's getting 10,000 like this connections every day. How would you stand out? So you have to know that. And
these are very practical tips. I think these are very small, tiny and practical, doable things that one can spend a little time and then get them right and start building up their profile and building up the connections.
Absolutely. And I personally believe if somebody is looking for a job, that's a full-time job. Looking for a job is a full-time job.
I agree.
You have to be committed to get a job. You cannot just wake up one day, make some connections, do some posts, send some applications in job sites, and then again sleep for another 2 weeks. Job doesn't come in that way.
So I am enjoying this conversation too much, Abhiroop, because you're actually speaking the plight of every consultant, every HR consultant, that please prepare, please make the effort. It's become
you need to be committed. You want to get a job, so you better be committed to get the job. Right. People post one LinkedIn and they think that I'll get job. That doesn't happen that way.
Right.
You have to be persistent, consistent. You have to every day, if you're seriously looking for a job, you have to every day spend 1 to 2 hours in looking for a job. A lot of candidates tells me, I to check Naukri every day. I have finished applying to everyone. There is no new application. So what? Then your life, you're gone. You will sit at home and do nothing. I mean, what is the excuse?
I have an analogy to draw here. So I keep telling my husband, my son about my kids, padhai nahi ki aaj usko homework nahi karwa pai main. I can't do it. And then he says, you don't have an option. You can't back out from being a mother. You have to be a mother. So it's the same thing that you can't back out from getting your employment. You can't back out from that. You have to get employment.
Somehow, after, mostly post-pandemic, what I've seen, people have become very weird. They will post all sorts of things in LinkedIn, but when you connect for them to get a job, they will give you a list of 100 things which they don't want to do. So I can go back and think, then what is do they really need a job then? People have become so, so casual. People have become so complacent. I don't know how they are running. And I see, I have not been able to run business. My finances are over. So if your finances are over, what are you doing for that? With all due respect to all the people who post like this, my heart goes out for them. But I hate this kind of post because it doesn't show good in the light of a recruiter.
Right.
1.5 years, you have not got a job. What have you been doing? Did you do something? You're sitting at home and did nothing. I'm sure you're going to, obviously this is going to go in social media. So I'm saying in front, and I don't mind if I get backlash for this, but those kind of posts is something which I really, really don't like in my LinkedIn.
I agree with you, but there are some genuine cases. There are all kinds of people actually.
No, I'm not saying they're not genuine. See, I'm not saying they're not genuine. Absolutely not. They're genuine. My question is, what are you doing for that?
What is your suggested action number 1, 2, 3 for such people?
Get something.
Get something.
Why are you waiting? So if I'm let's say my last round salary was 50,000 rupees.
And
1.5 years I'm sitting doing nothing, expecting when my 50,000 salary job will come. I mean,
Right.
and what are you doing? If you're getting 10,000, get work, do something about it, and at least something to you're doing. Something you have to show in your resume than crying in front of the recruiter that I was laid off during pandemic and I don't have a job for 1.5 years.
Mm.
So my entire, as a recruiter, as an organization, my entire thing comes out is that then are you lazy or what are you doing? I mean, fine, there were less jobs. So what did you do? Did you do odd jobs? I mean, again, yeah, India again is that.
So what is the industry perspective? What is the industry? Because you interact, you are consultant, you're a consultant, you have the industry perspective also. What is the industry plight?
Perspective in the sense.
So if there are people who are not, upfront, coming up and ready to show up, how does the industry feel about it? What is their perception about the employee pool? And what is their expectation in terms of the skills that they are looking for or the attitude that they are looking for?
Yeah, see, expectations, see, we all know that we have gone through a very tough time. That's acceptable. Okay.
Yeah.
But even during these times, people who have been resilient, people who have done something about it, if not at least done certifications, courses, pre-courses, upgraded themselves somewhere or the other, or has done some odd jobs, this helps us to decide that yes, this person is not just sitting and waiting for an opportunity. This person, if I give that person a job, this person still has the legs to run. We
Right.
need fighters now. We are looking for fighters who can run the company. So it is, see, people who are skilled, they still have retained their jobs. People who have not been able to upgrade, they only have lost their jobs, barring few specific industries which has been really badly affected. But even in those industries, there are still people who have retained their jobs. So if you
Right.
look at from a context, people have retained their jobs in same industry where people have lost their jobs in the same industry. So then something is missing, right? Which I have to, as a candidate, as an
I
employee,
have
or
to
as a
figure out.
prospective job seeker, I have to understand, figure out, and rather than blaming COVID, blaming organizations, blaming 10 other things and people and situations, can I see the mirror and see
I
what
hope
I
our
have
audience
done to
is
get out of
watching this. I really do hope our audience is watching it and they fervently start figuring out what is it that they are missing. The action, the willingness, the showcasing. There is something that they are missing and they must work on it. They must figure out what is it that they are missing and they must work out on it. So there is
So,
this last section over here. We have Abhiroop, in which what we do is I ask you one question, and that's usually a question that a candidate faces in the interview. And I want to understand your perspective that how should one structure their answer around this question? All right. So the question for
so
you
this is a
is
googly for me. So this is a googly for me.
yes, yes. So we have this last section, which is actually a googly for our guests. So the question that I want to seek inputs from you is tell us about yourself.
Oh
I
my
think this
God.
is the most dreaded question. The most dreaded
So I
question.
have a structure. So I have a
Okay.
structure which I always tell people to follow when you are talking about tell me something about yourself.
Okay.
So there are three things which you need to address when you're talking about yourself. One
Uh-huh.
is you need to have a good opening and you
Okay.
need to know where to close. In between, talk about something which how you can help. What are the things that, how you can help an organization? What is there in you that you can help? With some one or two examples. Tell me something yourself is not about what is there in your resume. The resume the person has already read. You don't have to say that, I am in born and brought up in here and my father does this and my mother does this and my sister does this and my brother does this. And I have worked in this organization for this many time and this organization. I mean, it's okay. It's there in your CV. I can read what you
Mhm.
bring to the table. So rather than saying that, so you can always say that, I have around 5 years of experience, and in my 5 years of experience, I've been able to solve this problem for this organization, or I've been able to achieve this much in this organization in spite of these challenges.
Okay. This makes a lot of sense. Thank you, Abhiroop. I think this is one of the most dreaded questions. And yes, I agree, most of the times candidates will come up with an answer like, I am this person, I was born in this city, my parents are this. And it sounds absurd. When you put it like that you need to put in your contribution or achievements, it sounds absurd, the answers that people give. So this brings
So
us.
basically it's 30 seconds. So you can speak a 1 minute, 10, 15 seconds about your name and whatever. If you, so your name is also there. No, you don't have to tell your name. That I'm Abhiroop doesn't need to talk about, right? So you start, you have a good start. So figure out the start. And I would always advise all candidates to prepare. They don't prepare the tell me something yourself, something which you have to prepare because you know that question is going to come.
That question.
And prepare 3 or 4 sets depending on what industry, what organization, what role.
Okay.
Not one.
Okay.
3 to 4, tell me something on yourself. You should be memorized as well, that wherever you meet, whoever you meet, whatever you find a recruiter, HR, you would be able to say that and make a video resume of that.
Wow.
Of that 1.5 minute of about yourself, make a video, put it on your LinkedIn and social media. Then you tell me if somebody
makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. It takes care of your profile building exercise also.
Yes.
So this brings us to the end of the conversation, Abhiroop. It has been a real fun. I have no idea where the 30 minutes went by. We are already past 30 minutes, 28 minutes. Thank you so much. It has been an extremely interesting and a reality check kind of a conversation. I hope that our audience take these advice and act upon these things and yes, find a job soon. Thank you so much, Abhiroop.
Thank you, Anupriya. It was such a pleasure and honor. And thank you for having me in your session. And it was, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And wish all the candidates all the best.